Hard Rock Casino Hotel, 2 dead and multiple casualties. Collapsed in downtown New Orleans, 2 people dead. There's footage to be seen. And what does it say later in the article? The chief building inspector, Larry Chan, was suspended after federal probe of corruption allegation.
Yes. Well, the story caught my eye because I had quite a conversation with a fellow contractor who was actually overseeing a job that I was working on, and he was talking to me about the corruption in New Orleans, and that literally to get jobs approved by local inspectors, it took graft. And what happened in this particular case was several stories of the new Hard Rock Casino just collapsed. Now that doesn't happen if the construction is up to code as it's going up.
Right.
Because it was upper stories.
Underwater, perhaps? I heard that it's under sea level there.
Well, it is, but that's a separate issue. As long as it's up to code, under seawater, that's a sea level. That's a different issue.
More air pressure there.
But the point is that this particular story came out because even with all of the zoning and all of the proper regulatory steps that should have been taken, because government is so often corrupt, they allow for shoddy construction. I remember nearly 20 years ago now, that there was a floor collapse in Israel, a wedding chapel, a multi-story wedding chapel. On the 3rd floor, they were all dancing, and all of a sudden, they ended up on the 1st floor as 2 floors collapsed. You remember that? Yeah. And several people died and so forth, and people went to prison. The reason that we have inspections as things go up in public buildings is proper use of government, so that we make sure that it's actually it's being
That's what
built
we're paying
safely.
for, those types of protections.
Well, the thing is that somebody might use shoddy construction, sneak it by the owner and so forth. And then only later on, the public will suffer for it. So government is there to make sure that things are actually being done correctly. The problem is when government is corrupt and graft gets you by with shoddy construction, we have major problems. So there should be many more indictments in this particular case, not just the inspector, but most definitely the inspector.
Mm-hmm. Right. Who builds the casinos out there?
Well, is that contractors?
It's all just
I don't know.
Probably tribal members.
Is it tribal?
You mean I don't know?
For a long time, I think it was Manhattan construction in Oklahoma gets a lot of the tribal business. I think I could be wrong.
But who knows in New Orleans, right?
I don't know.
If it's even government stuff, because they have set asides on government building for tribes. And I
don't know if out there if everybody but tribal members have their rights violated and not being able to own a casino.
Right, that doesn't really make sense because we know that natives can do nothing wrong, so I don't think
they're one with the animals.
All you have to do is watch the movies.
How dare you, my people!
It's Dances with Wolves, right?
I don't dance.
Well, he was white.
Yeah, I know, but it's Dances.
But he had to
with
come into one.
We do movie critiques.
The white man does not, work with. Yeah, white men can't dance and she can't jump, right?
With wolves. Because that's appropriation.
It's these Europeans that come over and start putting barbed wire fences up. See, the tribes didn't do that. We're not going to go down that road.
Well, you ready to move to
weeds,
stage?
guys.
All right, we've got a couple of state stories where you're listening and watching 3D Politics. I'm Tom McKay, your amazing host. I got David Vann, David Oldham, and David D'Ambroso here for all the great stories.
Tell them where we're from.
Okay, if you want me to, make a suggestion.
Yeah, well, let's.
Not New Orleans.
Well, I mean, what?
Yeah,
what
I know
groups
what you
we
mean,
represent.
What do we got?
The thing here is, this is really good news, David, and you'll get to tell them where you're from later, just because you suggested it.
There we go.